Hi, welcome back to the channel today. We're going to be taking a look at the animals that we have in our reptile room today. We did just get a couple of new fish for our community stock tank that we use to breed our fish in to supply fish to all of our other tanks, like this Australian water dragon tank and our Crested Gecko enclosure over there that has a little pond in it, and our turtle pond over there. So let's take a look and see what we got. So these are some of the fish we're going to be adding to our stock tank today. 3 different varieties of platies, or platies, however you want to say it. And there are also, you can see them down in there, there are some albino dwarf African cloud frogs. 3 of them too that we'll be adding to this tank. So let's get them in. So while we wait for those fish to settle into the new home before we release them, we will go back to them as soon as the water temperatures are right and we can let them back in the water, except about 15 or 20 minutes. Let's take a look and see what kind of other animals that we have around here. Like you saw in our first video, a little over 2 months ago, these are some of our Rankin Dragons, which, as you can see, are all still sleeping. There's one way back. All of these guys. This is my female that has produced 2 fertile clutches for me so far. This past year we didn't get anything. Most of the eggs ended up being infertile this year. We're not sure why. Hopefully next season will be much better, or this coming season that they will be going into. And these are a couple of her babies, which are not babies anymore. These guys are from a 1.5 years ago, and they should be up to breeding size this year. These are my 2 males right here, which have gone down into brumation. These guys down here are my couple of females, which are all hiding underneath these caves in the brumation. All of these guys have been down brumating for about 2 months now. They usually brumate anywhere between 3 to 5 months out of the year. So in the next couple of months here, these guys should be waking up. And these females that I have from a 1.5 years ago should be up to breeding size this coming season. So hopefully we'll get some nice babies out of these guys this year as well. And for my newest addition is this guy right here. I got him this past summer of 2020. He is a new male that I got for my females that are coming up to size this year, just so I can get some new bloodlines into my Rankin Dragons breeding projects. So hopefully you guys will be hearing much more about his babies later this summer. Up here in this enclosure are our red-tailed boas. They're not true red-tailed boas. These are boa constrictor imperator. These are, you can see them in there. They are not the happiest snakes in the world by any stretch. See if we can get a better view of them. This is a pair right here, a male and a female. They are about 2.5 years old right now. Hopefully in the next few years they'll be both up to breeding size. And these guys are, both of them are het for Call albino as well as striped. So I'm hoping to get some really pretty striped Call albino babies out of these guys. They are also both hypo, so I can get some hypo albino, which are sun glow striped babies. Hopefully I will be getting out of these guys in the next year or two. So stay tuned on their breeding project. We are also going to be trying to tame these guys out. They are not the friendliest animals at the moment. Not that they're aggressive, they're just extremely defensive and very, very food motivated. So every time I reach my hand into their enclosure, they rear up, they S, and they try to strike and bite. So there'll be some videos in the future of trying to tame these guys down, because I do not want a 7-foot boa constrictor that is mean. Not that necessarily they're mean, but I don't want a defensive or aggressive large boa constrictor. So we will try to tame these guys down in a future video. Stay tuned for that. Alright, next here we have my alligator snapping turtle. This guy we just got about a year ago. He's doing very good. These guys will get massive. You will eventually have to go into a very large pond, at least several hundred gallons. He is just a baby right now. He's probably maybe 2 years old right now, maybe 3 years old. Eventually, these guys will get in excess of 1.5 to 2 feet shell length, and they can weigh well over 100 pounds. So I cannot wait for this guy to get massive, and he will make a beautiful display animal in a really nice cool pond that we're doing at the zoo. If you watched last week's video, you'll recognize this girl right here. She is our Australian water dragon. She also will be getting a much larger enclosure than this. She is currently in Exoterra's, the largest Exoterra cage that I have, which is a 36 by 36 by 18. It is a very large cage, but she will also be a very large girl, and she will need a much larger enclosure. At the zoo, she will be getting a nice, probably 8 by 4 cage that's 6 to 8 feet tall, with a very large water feature in it. In her water as well, as you can see swimming around, we do have a group of mosquito fish in here that are doing fantastic. They are breeding very well in this enclosure. As you can also see back in the back corner there, we also have a pair of crayfish that we are trying to breed. I have three pairs of crayfish in 3 different enclosures, because from the information that I have dug up on them, they do their best breeding. You have the most success breeding them if you breed them in pairs rather than large groups. And these guys are very easy to sex. I will show you that in just a moment. So as we see, if we flip these guys over and open this up, you will see an extra pair of feelers right down here. That is a male. And if we look at our female, open up that tail again, you'll see that hole in that same spot where those feelers would be. That is how you know it is a female. Our next enclosure over here, we have a couple of female Crested Geckos. This is our larger female right here. She is one of my favorite color morphs, if you will, of these guys. She's a Dalmatian with a nice cream-colored background. She is gorgeous. Let me get this away to get you guys a little bit better of a look at her. We do have 2 Crested Geckos in here, as well as in here, if you can see them. There is a Leopard Frog. And we also have a couple of Crayfish in this enclosure too, another pair that will hopefully be breeding relatively soon. There is our other female right there. I absolutely adore Crested Geckos. They're definitely one of my favorite geckos. If you ever have a chance to keep them, I highly recommend it. They have almost velvet feeling skin, and their toe pads are one of the coolest feelings I think you could ever have. The feeling of when they grip onto your hands, their toe pads, they're sticky but at the same time soft. It is super cool. And I do believe these are 2 females. It's hard to tell. This is a fairly young one still right here. This may end up being a male. It's kind of hard to tell at the moment. But if it is, I will have an amazing pair of Crested Geckos here. If not, I will definitely be looking for a male sometime later this year to start breeding these 2 as well. Next, we have our Aquatic Turtles. We have in here 1 red-eared slider and a handful of yellow belly sliders. Some of these are actually yellow belly, red ear hybrids. Some of the younger ones I have in here that you can tell. The yellow bellies, if you look at them, will have this nice bright yellow plastron here, and the red ears have will have more black spots on their belly. If I can find my red-eared slider here in here for you, I will take her out and show you. This is another one of our yellow bellies. Looks like our red-eared slider is right over here. No, you're my male. This is another one of our yellow belly sliders. If you look at the claws right there, and you take a look at his very large tail, that is how you can tell a male from a female. With all sliders and cooters and majority of aquatic turtles, not all aquatic turtles, but the majority of aquatic turtles, the males will have very large front claws, which they use during breeding season. They actually do a little dance where they kind of put their front legs out in front of their face and tickle the faces of the female they are trying to court. And they also have that much larger tail that they use for breeding. In here, we have our Argentine red tegu, Teggy. I've had her for about 3 or 4 years now. Definitely one of my favorite lizards that I have. Girl. Amazing little lizard. Or rather, big lizards, I should say. You will see more of her in an upcoming video. I'm in the process of filming a video all about her and our future plans and breeding projects for red tegus. So keep an eye out for that, and look forward to seeing more about our red tegu projects in the future. And in this enclosure back here, is, dare I say, the largest animals that we have at our house right now. This is just a winter setup for them as they live outside in a large pen during the summers. And these are our Sulcida Tortoises. These are some babies. So this is one of our babies that we picked up a couple of years ago. She's about 6 or 7 years old right now. I have two of them in here that are this size and one larger one, Bubba, which I'll get out for you guys in just a moment and show you some of him. These are definitely going to be a breeding project in the future once they get large enough. And they're going to make an awesome exhibit animal at our zoo in the future. It's an awesome tortoise. Just make sure that you know when you get a sulcata tortoise, they are fairly inexpensive. You can usually pick up a babies for between $60 and $100. Just be forewarned, they do get large. They are the third largest tortoise species in the world, getting to sizes of 200 plus pounds when they're adults, and they need a very, very, very large enclosure. So please do not get one unless you have the room to either be able to keep them outside if you live down in the southern part of the country, or if you do live in the north part of the country, make sure you are going to have a very large indoor place for them to stay during the winter. And during the summers, they definitely need to be able to get outside in a very large fenced-in pen. When you do make an enclosure outside for these guys, you want to make sure to bury cement bricks at least 1 to 2 feet down, if not a lot farther down, along the entire perimeter of their enclosure, because these guys are very proficient burrowers and will tunnel out of their enclosure if they're given the chance. So that is the other baby that we picked up a few years ago. And all the way back in the corner over there, of course, he has to be very, very far away, hiding in the corner, which I cannot reach, is Bubba. He is the biggest male that I have right now. Last time I weighed him, he was about 15 or 16 pounds, and probably about 14 or 15 inches in shell length. So the other tortoise species we have here are Russian tortoises. I have 2 males and 2 females at the moment. They are brewmating right now. They will be down for probably the next few months. I'm hoping. I've been trying to breed these guys. It has not gone very well so far. I have not gotten any eggs out of them. But last year was my first year keeping them outside all throughout the warmer season of the year. So hopefully with any luck, in the next year or two, we will be able to produce some captive baby Russian tortoises. Have you seen before, I do have a small colony of hissing cockroaches that are in there, as well as my bugs. I have superworms, mealworms. As you can see, there are a lot of mealworm beetles in there right now. Hopefully they will be producing for me and give me more baby mealworms in the very near future. They're just set up in this simple 3-tier bin right now, which is one of the best ways I have found to keep mealworms and superworms. They cannot climb the plastic, so you don't have to worry about them trying to climb out. And it is plenty well ventilated, so you don't have to worry about any suffocating or any kind of ventilation issues like that. As well, in this small bin over here, I do have a very small population of dubia roaches that I'm in the middle of trying to breed. They will be getting an upgrade from that little bin very soon. as there's only a couple of dozen small roaches in there at the moment. And in this other enclosure over here, I have my other Russian tortoises, as we saw in that one. Those are my two males over there. They're kind of hidden right now. They're in that corner over there. My two females. That when they come out of brumation in the next few months, I will definitely be doing a video on them for you guys. So lastly for you guys, I have my leopard geckos. I have 3 pairs of leopard geckos. I have 3 pairs of leopard geckos here. Let's see if we can get them out. This is Hermes and Kyra. I have gotten eggs from all 3 of these females. Unfortunately, this year I didn't catch any of the eggs quick enough, so none of the babies ended up hatching. Hopefully this year will be much better and be able to find their eggs a lot quicker, and we'll hopefully be having some leopard geckos babies available later this summer. So this right here is my male Ash. This is the only leopard gecko that I have right now that I actually produced. This is a male. He is about a little over 2 months old. He was born, I believe, October of 2018. So he is 2 years and a couple of months old right now. He is with this female in here. That right there is the female that he is in. She does, if you notice, her tail looks a little bit different than all the other leopard geckos' tails. Last breeding season got a little rough for her. She did end up losing her tail, but as you can see, it has grown back fairly good. Their tails usually never look quite the same once they regrow them. They're a little bit more fatty and bulbous, as you can see there, and slightly off-colored from the rest of her body. So for our last pair of leopard geckos, are right in here. We have the male, which is just a normal leopard gecko. I have had him for probably about 12 or 13 years now. I have had him, so he's getting up there. He was already an adult when I got him, so he's probably at least 15 or 16 years old. He is with this other female in here, which is a reigning red stripe, I believe. The color morph of her is called. The other female in this other cage over here, I believe she is called a Typhoon, if I'm not mistaken. Forgive me if I'm getting this wrong. I am not the best on leopard gecko morphs. I do know that this female and this female are both a form of albino, which I believe is the rainwater albino. Both of these females are rainwater albinos. I'm not sure what else is in them, but I do know that. So all of the babies, I believe, are going to be het rainwater albino. I'm pretty sure albinism works in leopard geckos like it does in all the other animals, which is a simple recessive trait. So you need 2 traits, trait from both male and female, for the offspring to be albino. So hopefully we will see babies later this year from these 3 pairs of leopard geckos. Okay, so to end this video, we'll be releasing, like I talked about at the beginning of the video, releasing our platies and dwarf African cloud frogs into their new home. So we will leave you today with a view of our aquarium with all of our new fish that we just released into it. I just want to thank everyone for stopping by and checking out this channel today. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on your notifications so that you know the next time we'll be uploading a video. We'll be doing one a week at least from here on out. So look forward to that. As I said earlier, our next video will be about Teggy, our red tegu, and our future breeding projects we have in store for her. Hit that like button on this video, comment down below, and let us know what you think. Let us know what other kind of videos you'd like us to do in the future.